Byron Walters was a 19-year-old American disciple studying the ancient art of shaolin at a secluded temple in Japan. He had traveled thousands of miles to immerse himself in the teachings of martial arts, seeking guidance and wisdom from the renowned Shaolin masters. One day, as Byron diligently practiced his katas in the temple courtyard, he couldn't shake off a feeling of restlessness. He moved through the forms with precision, but lacked a sense of purpose. Byron's head was always down, his focus limited to the movements of his body. He was so engrossed in perfecting his technique that he failed to notice the world passing by around him. Sensing Byron's inner turmoil, Otake Katashi, a 62-year-old senior Shaolin master, approached him. Otake had observed the young disciple's dedication and potential, but he recognized the danger of Byron becoming lost in his pursuit of perfection. Otake believed that true mastery extended beyond physical technique. It resided in the choices one made in life. "Byron, my young disciple," Otake called out, his voice firm but gentle. "You move so fast, yet your mind remains fixed on the ground. Lift your head and look around you." Byron paused, surprised by his master's words. Slowly, he raised his head, taking in the serene surroundings of the temple. The towering cherry blossom trees, the tranquil koi pond, and the distant mist-shrouded mountains all seemed to whisper a message to him. Intrigued by Otake's wisdom, Byron followed his master's guidance and embarked on a journey outside the temple walls. They set out to explore a nearby village, its quaint streets lined with traditional houses and bustling shops. The air was alive with the sense of freshly prepared food and the cheerful chatter of locals going about their daily lives. As they strolled along, Otake suddenly veered off the main path, leading Byron to a small graveyard on the outskirts of the village. The wind whistled through the gravestones, lending an eerie atmosphere to the surroundings. "Visiting the graveyard can teach us valuable lessons, my young disciple," Otake said softly. "Look closely at these tombstones. Notice the birth dates and death dates. The B and the D. Life itself lies in that line between the two." Byron studied the tombstones, his eyes widening as he grasped the profundity of Otake's words. Each marker held a tale, a life lived between two finite points, a birth and a death. The significance of the space between the letters B and D dawned on him. The choices made, the experiences embraced. Our lives are shaped by the choices we make, Byron. Otake continued. In that small, elusive space lies the essence of our existence. Life is the sea. Choice. Byron's mind raced with newfound understanding. He realized that he had been so focused on perfecting his technique that he had overlooked the richness and vastness of life around him. The world was brimming with opportunities, waiting for him to seize them. Determined to make the most of his life, Byron returned to the temple with a newfound perspective. He continued his training diligently, but now with a heart open to the wonders that life had to offer. He engaged in conversations with fellow disciples, explored the teachings of other martial arts, and even ventured into the nearby town to interact with the locals. With time, Byron's skills grew, but more importantly, his spirit soared. He became known not only for his mastery of Shaolin, but also for his compassion and zest for life. Byron's choices became deliberate, driven by a desire to make a positive impact on the world around him. Years later, Byron stood before his master, Otake, now aged but still radiating wisdom. With gratitude in his eyes, he said, "Master, you taught me the true meaning of life. It is not solely about mastering the art of Shaolin, but about embracing the choices that shape our existence. I will forever cherish the lessons you bestowed upon me." Otake smiled, a twinkle in his eyes. "Byron, my disciple, remember that life is fleeting. The opportunities that come your way are gifts to be cherished. Embrace them, make the most of them, and let your choices illuminate your path. Remember, life before death." And as Byron stepped out into the world, his heart brimming with gratitude and purpose, he carried Otake's teachings with him, embracing every moment and making the most out of his life's incredible journey.